Imagine, or maybe you don't want to imagine, coming face to face with a python in the Everglades. Would you know how to capture it? Florida Fish and Wildlife officers offering training today to those brave enough to consider catching these invasive reptiles, which are messing up the ecosystem by gobbling up our native wildlife. 4 in Your Corner's Carl Fortier was there and even gave it a try himself.
Well, there was quite a turnout. It seemed like everyone at the Conservancy wanted the chance to catch a python. The FWC says it's all about educating people on how to handle one of these constrictors that don't belong in South Florida's ecosystem.
If with a bigger snake, they'll pull their head right out of there.
These staffers with the Conservancy of Southwest Florida are getting some hands-on experience on how to wrangle Burmese pythons, the poster children for non-native invasive species in South Florida.
Because they're so large, they are a threat to our native wildlife here in Florida.
Jenny Novak has been coordinating python patrol training sessions on the east side of the state, but since we're seeing some of the snakes in our area, it was time to bring the training here too.
We need a bunch of people who are properly trained to recognize these animals. So should they start to move, we can have people on the front lines to recognize the species and get it reported to us.
One by one, Conservancy staffers worked their charms on these snakes in the grass.
They are really big snakes. They can be really fast. The snake that I worked with was incredibly fast, and they're very, very strong.
When they're ready, they will pin the snake's head with a snake hook, then gently grasp the snake and work it into the bag.
Sounds easy, right? Well, then it was time to see how well I was paying attention.
You got to kind of commit to it.
I was starting to get the idea.
No, we've got to be way up here.
Kind of. The FWC says more people are becoming concerned about invasive species, and they're hoping to have python patrol training sessions for the general public in the spring.
We do get a lot of calls from people who think they've seen a Burmese python, but it's really a native snake that they've misidentified. So it's good if we teach people about our native snakes as well, so we keep those protected.
Now, one of the Conservancy staffers was bitten by a python, which are not venomous. While I was interviewing Novak, he seemed to be okay, but he was taken for a medical exam just to be safe. In Naples, Carl Fortier, Fox 4 in Your Corner.
And if you happen to see a Burmese python, you can report it to Fish and Wildlife by calling their very memorable hotline, 1-888-I've got one.